Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night. We're broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans, Louisiana. I am your host, Don Yazzie, and with me, the one and the only, my co host, Darren Yazzie.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What is up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, here again. The hour is nigh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Um, Today, our guest is Miss Vanessa Pierson. It's part two. Hi, strangers in the paranormal. Um, she'll be joining us very shortly. She's running a little late. The grand entry, as you would call it, right? The other natives out there, the grand
Mm.
entry. Grand entry is the last dancers that come in very late. So like you have, like the beginning of the powwows, you have these dancers come in, then these other dancers come in, then the last one's the like the top dancers or so like that. So the
Mm.
grand entry, the ones that can come in late all the time. that's what
Oh
that's
yeah.
what they would say. It's the grand entry. I gotta go late, running on Indian time, that type of deal, or running on Navajo time. They would say.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, uh,
See.
yeah.
Hey.
She's here to talk about the witches, huh? The good witch and the bad witch type deal, huh? Her
Mm-hmm.
aunties, relatives,
Her
or
grandmas.
no? It's her grandmother's. Yeah, yeah. Wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
twins
Can't wait
too.
to hear
So
that. Yeah.
yeah, me either, man. I was sitting there thinking about it a bit more. Uh, about when you brought it up and stuff like that, man. I was like, huh. You twins for Navajos is really a really sacred thing, that for to have twins to even have their own songs, that that are sung for them. So, uh, you know, hearing the good and the bad, so the evil twin type deal. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
really curious about it. Really curious about it.
Like certain families would have that repeating patterns of having twins. I know, like
Right?
in my family, we have that here and there. Not as prevalent as some families that keeps having twins here and there. And
Hmm.
wasn't the what Mr. Curly said? One monster slayer, and the other is
Yeah,
born
Moss
for
Flare.
water. Yeah, the
Yep.
other is born for water that keeps the eye on the feather, right? When his
Mm,
brother needs help, he goes out there and helps him if his feather's in trouble. The monster slayers. Yeah, shout
mm,
out to Descendants. I think one of their shirts that has the monster slayers. Like he had the where they dressed, no, the two monster slayers, but they had like
mm.
night vision goggles and like a machine gun. It's pretty cool. So that's one of the things I need to order. Is like wow, because I got one of their shirts when I seen them out in Cedar City, and
Mm.
yesterday they were out in Ganado at the swap meet. Really, I miss them
Nice.
swap meets on the res, man.
Yeah, for real, man. It's not it wasn't an uncommon thing for me to ditch uh, a class or two to go to Tuba City swap meet. So
Yeah, the Arden Belto. Oh, can't wait. Hopefully, I said that name right. Arden Belto. Let's see here. Heidi Gold. Hey, Heidi. Hello and much love from Boulder. Sharing out now. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
mm,
Oh,
it's time.
Kelsey Jack. Res time. That's right. That's right. Res time. Always an hour behind. I'm trying to get him on here. My relative right there. He has some bomb stories that you guys need to hear. Some really
Mm,
amazing stories. Let's see here. Kurt W75
Double
Double
D's.
D. How are you guys? Great to see you both. Likewise, Kurt. Likewise. Right here, Mr. Curly. Yep. Yep.
Right?
Right here.
Uh
What's
huh.
up, Double D's? Not much. Just gonna keep you and everyone else on ice until Miss Pearson gets here, man. She has some interesting stories.
Yep.
Uh,
I hope she
uh,
finds that book that she was writing in. Kind of curious about
mm,
that too.
right, right. Meanwhile, who wants to go first? Should we do rock paper scissors? Who's gonna tell us
Yeah.
a story? All right, virtual
Might as
rock
well.
paper scissors. All right,
Right.
rock. Wait, rock Wait. Are we on a delay? We're on a delay, huh?
Yeah.
Rock,
Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah.
scissors, shoot. Wait, let's go shoot. Okay. Rock. Wait, let's do it again. Rock, papers, scissors, shoot. What'd you get?
Scissors,
Scissors.
dude.
Okay. Rock, papers, scissors. I'll just go first. I'll just
Yeah,
go first.
all right, go for it.
Okay. Before we go first, let's Gates Musher Aurora. Aurora? I don't know if I said that right. Good day. Thank you. You as well, Gates Musher. Thank you very much. Rock, paper, scissors. Oh
Fucking
man.
lizard.
Okay. So I telling these stories, I've been on a few podcasts, and I don't want to tell the same story over again. you know and if I have told a story on here already, just let me know, remind me, Darren, and
Mm.
you guys out there, if you guys are listening. So I think I have not told the story. This um this takes place back in uh 2007, I believe. Shoot, man, feels like this is so long. We're getting old. Time is like feels like yesterday. Sometimes certain memories, like just relived it.
Mm.
And this is one of those cases because I started going to a job corps out there called Weber Basin Job Corps. It's out in Ogden, Utah, and I was at that job corps for welding,
Uh,
and
is that
and
is that Alden? Is that it out there in Utah or Salt
yeah,
Lake?
yeah, north of Salt
Oh,
Lake, Ogden.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Weber
I have a
Basin.
couple of people that went out there. I think my two sisters went out there, and
Oh,
they were
really?
doing welding also. Yeah. So
Oh, wow. That's cool. Did they have
mm.
any experiences there?
If they did it. They didn't say nothing, but one
Ask
came
them.
back with my late sister came back with the husband, and they had a child together too.
That happens a
everything worked
lot.
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
that
It's really
happens
good.
a lot. Yeah, a lot of them would get kicked out for doing naughty things in the dark alleys.
Yeah.
and every month they would do like a like a urine test, and
Mm-hmm.
for the women too. And if they like urinate that they're positive, they're pregnant, they get kicked out, and whoever the baby daddy
Ouch.
is. So like a lot of
Wow, I
like,
didn't know that.
oh man,
I
it's
didn't know that
really
part.
yeah. I was there for a minute, and I seen some things that I can't share on here. And I have quite a few stories of that and that nature. Some wild kids, man. I'll tell you, some wild. I had no
Mm,
idea that Job Corps was a juvenile like detention as well. Like I
huh.
went there, but I was a naughty kid as well already. So if the boot fits type of deal. So I
Oh,
was there already in trouble. You can't look at both of your hands. You only can look at one at a time. You gotta sit on the other. No, just kidding. But it was really strict and all. And so my first night there, I flew in from Cortez, Denver to Salt Lake, and I flew in sick. I couldn't, like, I don't know, I caught something, at the airport. I was sick, and um, so they showed me where I was laying. It was a bunk. I was in the Bay Area. There's like, so it's a big building, and it has a wing on the one wing on the east side, one wing on the west side, and each wing has 6 bays. They're across from each other, and I was on the east wing side, on the northeast corner, and I was very corner of that building. And the new people, they had to stay in bunk beds for like 2 weeks, I believe. And I was there my first night there, and I was so tired. It took a plane a few times to land because it was raining and the plane was slipping like this on the runway, and we had to pick
yeah.
back up and go in a circle again and try to land again. And oh man, it was horrible. The first night I was there, something kept bothering me. You know, kept hitting me, kept touching me on the bunk bed and my side, everywhere that was facing away from the wall was getting touched, like a little hand, I was like, what the hell, And as the week went by, you know, one night I felt something hitting me, on my head. Boom, boom, boom. I had my head under the blanket and I moved the blanket over and I seen a kid standing there and the clothes that he was wearing was really old school. You can tell it's really old and he's standing there with a basketball and he was just like boom hitting me in my head, and I was like boom boom, it's hit me a few times and I hit the ball. I was like, stop man, what are you doing, leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep here, I'm tired. And he kept hitting me. I was like, cut it out, man, leave me alone. And I was looking at his face and his right eyeball was hanging like halfway down his cheek, and he had
Mm,
dark hair, and you can tell he had dark eyes, and um, he had no blood because he was pale, very
mm,
very pale, and like his features, he looked like a native boy, and I really was looking at his face. He was bruised, his lip was beaten, like he got beat to death by somebody, and he was
mm,
probably 4 feet, maybe over 3.5 feet tall, a child. And he kept hitting me with the ball. I was just staring at him, boom, boom. I was like, "What in the world?" I was like, "Stop!" I caught the ball. I was like, "Cut it out, man! Why you hitting me?" I was like, "Why are you bothering me? I'm trying to sleep. I'm trying to rest." He goes, "Come play basketball with me. I won't. I'll leave you alone if you come play basketball with me." And I was like, "Stop! I'm trying to sleep. I don't want to play basketball with you. I'm tired." Kept hitting me, and I was like, "All right." I stood up. I was angry at the time. Uh, I stood up, and he wasn't there. And I peeked over down the little walkway, and he was already at the end of the bay. Where the hallway is. He was staying there with the ball, and I made my way to that doorway, the edge of the end of the bay, to the hallway. And I got there. He was way at the end of the hallway to the day room. There's this office right there. There's windows all around. It's a circular, and then the big old living room where all the boys would gather every morning, every evening to do count, you know, a roll call. So he was already right there at the edge of the right there at the day room, and I started running towards him, and I got to the day room, and he wasn't there, and I look, um, the doors. There's two doors, and both doors were open, and the first door closed, boom, by itself, and I shook. I kind of like the boom kind of shook me, and I seen the kid there because that first door closed where it comes into our area, and he was standing on the other side of the glass. I didn't see him when the door was open, but as soon as the door closed, I seen him there with the basketball. And then the second door closed. And when the second door closed, the big boom happened, and I shook. I was standing there. I woke up, and I was crying. I was crying, and I don't know why. I was just bawling. I felt sad. I felt hopeless. I felt, just I don't know. Like, would other people say that maybe you're feeling what that child was feeling? You had that connection with them right there. They
mm,
came to you. That's what other people said. And I was bawling, and I was wiping my tears from my eyes, and I turned around, and as I was running back to my bay, I heard him crying in the bathroom area, because there's a shower, and then there's the restroom bathroom stalls in the other side behind the office. So he was crying in the showers. So every
mm,
now and then at that job corps, it was a Bridger dorm. Every now and then you would hear a boy crying in there. And
mm,
I didn't. I didn't say anything about it. He stopped bothering me, and probably like about a month went by, and I was there with a lot of the other boys, and I was like, "Hey guys, let's go tell some scary stories." It was late. Let's tell some scary stories. So we got like some Mexican kids, white kids, um, go shoot, like different tribes that were there. So all us boys, we all got to close to where I was sleeping, and we started exchanging scary stories. And I told him my scary story, and one of the boys there, he jumped up. And he's like, "Dude, that's that boy." I guess that boy that stood up and ran towards me. I guess his brother. So his brother was at that job corps prior, and his brother's friend. So and then another boy came. His brother was there. So they all had these stories that correlate about that dormitory, about that job corps, and that stories
Mm.
that correlate. They're telling me is that that boy he bothered the first boy's brother. He's bothering him, and he went outside, all the way outside to the basketball court, and he was playing basketball with him out there. And he woke up on the basketball court. And he ran back inside. He's crying. And then after he completed job corps, he went to the military and he offed himself. He
Ouch.
offed himself, and then the other kid, the same story. His brother went, and his friend. They both were being bothered by that boy, and both his brother and his friend went to the military afterwards, and the friend offed himself. I guess they said that that boy is bothering them no matter where they
Mm.
went. So he kept bothering because they went outside to play basketball with him.
Wow.
And like years later, I realized that a lot of it was a boarding school for Native American, at one point in time. So they would send Well, the Blackfeet, Nez Perce, Shoshone, the Utes, the Navajos, the Paiutes, um, probably missing other tribes, the Wind River, Rapaho. So they would send them all there to that boarding school
Yeah, I
back in the
know.
day.
Yeah, I know these boarding schools. They're really, really evil and kind of really wicked places for the Native Americans. Man, it's kind of a sad thing to hear uh, people talk about it because I heard one lady. She was saying that she was taken from her family and put in a boarding school, and it had a giant cross in front of the doorway. And what she was saying was that at one point they rarely had anything to eat. They didn't have no meat, and there's give bone bone water,
Mm,
until uh, the lady she was saying until one of the boys got sick, and they took that boy away, and she's uh, she's saying that the next day we had meat, and we're asking what it is, and they're just told to shut up and eat it, like. And after that, they started realizing that these people were serving them human meat, cannibalizing and forcing these kids to eat it. It's real
yeah,
sinister, man. It's a really wicked place. These
mm,
boarding schools for Native Americans, But
mm,
I would like to get some more people. Anybody that has stories like that, come on and talk about it because it's a real bad place, real evil and wicked.
yeah. Kelsey Jackson. Any school was not food. Was it? Wait. Oh wait. All right here. Any boarding school is not good, like he's explaining. Yep,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm.
So here, I was on this guy's podcast last Thursday. He said that the episode that we did is not going to be until September, mid September. So eventually, if you want to come on this guy's podcast right here, co is it Codega's Codex of Curiosities. What? Oh my God, that's horrific. Oh yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the dark side of Native
Yep.
American boarding schools.
I know. the Lodge Tales. He does some stuff about the
Yeah.
boarding schools out there, and he has a bunch of stories on it. Uh,
Yep.
but
Big fan.
it's yeah, it's scary. It's scary. Some
Yeah.
that
I
lady, I
can.
felt bad for her. She was crying. She was crying about they went through in those boarding schools.
Oh,
But
yeah. They had to shut down a part of a good section of Kienta boarding school. Part of them
mm,
was really, really haunted. And I wrestled there. I went there a few times to wrestle, and the bathrooms are weird. Bathrooms are weird because we would go into the bathroom to change and to relieve ourselves before we put on those tights to go wrestle. So we're in there. We close the stall, and all the stalls were opening, closing by themselves. That type of deal.
mm,
And all the kids from the school was called Mexican Hat at the time, where the schools that we attended, and we had to go to Kienta boarding school. Their mascot was the eagle. So I remember that, and a lot of us kids, we were getting bad vibes from the bathrooms. Just the bathrooms alone, there's just bad vibes, man,
mm.
all around. And right here, this guy's coming on pretty soon. Right here, Cedric Willie, what's up, bros? What's up? How's it going? This guy's a new member of the team right here, working on a shield. So, we'll have a shield, maybe a hat, that goes on there, like when we go out to check out these Bigfoot hot spots or see if we
Mm.
can capture the gargoyle, the
Yeah,
elusive
man.
gargoyle. Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm
I
hoping to
heard,
get
I
that
heard,
guy on there. Oh,
yeah, I heard a couple of them. These gargoyles, I, you could. It's really hard to put your mind around. Some of these stories that you're told. Personally, some I was like, huh, really, really, no, no, like,
hmm
oh, okay,
yeah.
because and some stories are, as you just have to put yourself in there, put yourself in the
Mhm.
put yourself in the
Yeah.
void. But
1 second. Our guest is coming on in a few minutes. So, audience out there, just bear with us. Bear with us a few more minutes.
uh,
But
but
yeah, go
I
ahead,
think
Darren. Sorry to cut you off.
yeah, I have a story. Some of the I work in construction, and it's not an uncommon thing that we would do night shift, and for whatever reason, I was always put on a night shift. So just to keep ourselves busy, we would be working and telling stories, and this was I met another Navajo lady. She was pretty older, and I was about maybe 19, 20 maybe, and what she was telling me as we were just working together, she's like, Darren, yeah, I was like, yeah, what's going on? What's up? What do you need? She's like, do you believe in scary stories? Do you believe in stuff like that? I was like, yeah, yeah. I told her, I just trade stories back and forth.
Mhm.
I told her about the ghost and all that, ghost spirit that we seen. She's like, huh? So I got a story for you too, kid. She's like, do you believe in vampires? Like, I was like, huh? The movies, like movies. At that time, my mind wasn't really wrapped around the whole idea, vampires, werewolves, and all that stuff. I always took them at that time, I took it as almost fantasy. Then she
Mhm.
went on. She told me an encounter with the vampires she had out there in Flagstaff, downtown
Vampires.
Flagstaff. Yeah, what she was saying was when she was a younger lady, I guess they would go out there and go to the bar. It's not an uncommon thing for have a night out there. So they went to one or two bars out there during the well during that time, and what she said they went to like some I don't know some Navajo bar. Oh, there she is.
There
Hi,
she is.
good morning or good afternoon.
Right here. Let's
Uh,
switch you, Darren, up here. Okay, everybody. We're gonna. Sorry, Darren. We'll put your story on ice for right now.
Yeah,
put it at the
yeah.
very
I'll,
top.
I'll I'll save it for later. Another van, but
We'll put some cherries on top just to make it
yeah,
shine.
yeah. But
Um,
vampires, yeah, they're very. I heard a couple of stories, one or two stories about vampires.
yeah.
One in
Go ahead.
Albuquerque and Flagstaff. We'll get to that one later. Those two later.
Yeah, definitely. But
Or
everybody, this is our guest right here, Vanessa Pierson, and we're gonna shift the story onto her. And Vanessa, you can go ahead and lead us into your story. Last where we left off was what story was it again? The
It
oh
was like
man.
paranormal activities going on
Mhm,
in a small town.
mhm. Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
did
And
you
they
ever
were
find
the
your journal that you've written down? Do you ever manage to get
Actually,
all
I
that?
did. Yeah, I did, but I put it somewhere, and I don't know where I put it. I don't
Uh,
know. Somewhere in my house, though. It's like legitly somewhere in my house. Um,
that's good. Probably
yeah,
has the
okay.
I'm gonna
ex's
have to show
name.
you guys. Yeah, I'm
Probably
gonna show
has the
you guys.
ex's name all over it anyway, so you don't want to bring up old memories. Yeah, just kidding.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But when you find it, take a picture of it and put it on,
Yeah,
our little "Don't
and
Whistle at Night"
I know you wanted
Facebook
a
page.
of what it looks like, what I was like, what I pictured in back in the day, like what it was and stuff.
Mm.
I do pictures of it on like what I drew when I was a little girl.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
really?
pretty
Look,
cool.
look, look,
Yeah,
nice.
That's a cool.
Uh,
we're
do you
Right.
gonna
happen to have
do
them?
one from like my grandma's story this
Mhm,
time. I'll go back from when it all started, from when I started seeing more things from her. It was pretty much I'll start back from when I was a kid because she took care of us all the time, you guys. And
mhm,
Mm.
it was me, my brother, and I had two other cousins that lived with us, that lived with my grandma. And my two cousins that lived with her, they were pretty much in her custody because her mom passed away. And that's crazy. It's kind of weird, you guys, because that's my dad's sister that passed. That was my, that was their mom. And then my dad passed before her mom. So it kind of lines up, they're
Mm.
related. Yeah, they're
mhm,
together. That was my grandma's kids, actually. So
mm.
Oh,
that's why she took custody of my two cousins. But anyways, I'll go back from that story. We lived with her out in the reservation, you guys. And she she was really like, she was kind of, there's a lot of odd things about her that we caught on, you know what I mean? When you're a kid, you don't really realize anything because you're just a kid, you don't, until you start growing up, you start realizing what happened, you know. So when I was
Mhm.
staying with her, my mom would keep us with her all the time because my mom didn't have a babysitter, so she kept us with her. And I'll start off with, I used to play we used to play, like, she had toys. I don't even know where she got these toys from, but she had like Barbie dolls, like all these different kind of toys for us so we could play with them. And I remember this one time there was a Barbie doll I used to play with all the time. And it was kind of weird because the Barbie doll had like a stomach, like she was pregnant. And
That's weird.
inside the
hmm.
stomach, you can flip the stomach sideways and it would have like a little baby inside it. And from,
Well,
yeah, it's kind of
Mm,
weird.
wow,
But I used to play with that
wow.
doll all the time in her house, you guys. And my brother was telling me, like, when I got older, we talked about it. And he's like, and I thought they were always messing with me and stuff too, because, I was the smallest person in the house. I was the smallest kid. And they will always make fun of me, like pick on me all the time. But they they would make fun of me and they would complain to me because they were like, where'd you put that doll? Where'd you put that doll? Because I was the only one I used to play with it. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, like, what do you mean? Guess that doll was running around the house
Oh,
back and
really?
forth. And you know what's crazy? It would run around like even in daytime. That doll would be like moving in different positions all the time. And my brother and my cousins, they always thought I was doing it, like messing with them. And I guess late at night too, you would hear the Barbie doll. you would see her like literally run in different directions. She was looking for her baby. Her baby was crying. Like, yeah, her baby would cry, and I don't even know why, because they were like, my brother and my cousins were getting after me. They're like, "Where'd you put that doll? Where'd you put that doll? Where'd you put the baby?" And I'm like,
Mm.
"No, I didn't take it," because I remember I used to always keep it in the stomach because it was like really small, like baby. And yeah, and I guess that doll would wake up and looking for her baby. It kind of
Oh
reminds me of
man.
the witch, the witch show. So
Yeah.
that was only one incident that would happen in her house.
Creepy.
And my grandma, like, she never really, like, she just thought we just like make up stuff or whatever. But
Mhm.
my grandma was kind of like crazy too. Um, Everybody would always call her a witch. Um, I thought it was just a rumor, but I started believing the rumors when I started getting older. But when we're in
Mhm.
that house, you guys, there would be so many things that would happen in that house, you guys. Even at nighttime, when you have dogs outside, they'll be barking like crazy because they know something's coming to, around your house.
Mhm.
We would hear like kids laughing outside the windows. And it would be dark, you guys. It would be so dark. And we wouldn't even know. But we were always told, don't look out the window. Don't look
Mhm.
out the window. My grandma would have every window closed, like curtains closed and everything. And there is one night where we're sleeping and we would hear some banging against the walls, scratching. So my grandma's like, the dogs were going crazy barking. So my grandma's like, she told my brother, because my brother came out with her. He was like
Mhm.
trying to help her because she told my brother, go get the flashlight. My brother told me not to go out there. You know what I mean? He's like, stay inside. But I didn't listen. I literally just followed him.
Yeah.
He grabbed the flashlight and gave it to my grandma. And I was by the door um, when they were outside. And I seen my grandma turn on the light. All you can hear too is a bunch of like, it sounded like cattle, like running.
Oh, heavy, huh?
Yeah, like cattle
Hmm.
or horses like stomping. That's all you can hear at night. And we had this big mountain, you guys, that lived right next to my grandma's house. My grandma's house
Ooh.
was close to that mountain. She was like the only house that was close to that mountain. And she turned on the light. She had one of those big freaking flashlights where it just like, you could see from the distance. And she flashed it. Right when she turned it on, she seen the dogs all barking like at one section, you know what I mean? And all you can see is all these people running like up the hill. And there weren't people. They were, what do you call them? Uh, you know,
Giants? Little
yeah,
people or
no,
giants?
they're you're not even supposed
Centaur?
to name them.
Mhm.
You're not even supposed to name it, but they're skinwalkers.
Oh, so
Oh,
oh, okay.
They're
Wow.
all in hives. They were all wearing like animal heads or animal
Mhm.
fur. It was
hmm.
crazy. They were just all running though in a pack up that hill, up that mountain. And they were
What's this
running.
mountain?
They
What's
were
the
running.
mountain called?
Huh?
What's the mountain called? What do you know?
Yeah, I do know. Should I
You can
say?
tell us later. You can tell us
Should I?
later.
Okay. It was
Yeah.
at Easto Mountain.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
is that?
It's
Crystal Mountain?
next to Delcon.
Oh,
Like Delcon's really close to that.
Oh,
There's
oh,
okay. I think I
okay.
know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, and this is
The
before
magical
they
one.
knocked down all the houses, and they rebuilt more houses out there. So the houses back then they were closer to the mountain, and I remember that whole area if I can still picture it in my head. But it's so crazy though because that was the other incident that we did see over there. And I remember my brother and her were just following with the flashlight at the herd, like the people, and they were just
Wow.
they were running up the hill all in a pack though. The next morning we woke up. We went, me and my brother, and my cousins. We always played over there too. We always played in that section where the herd was. You know what I mean? Where all those people were.
Mhm.
And I hear now that when they do that, like when what do you call it, bad energy or whatever, they do that is because they can smell like because we're kids, you know, they could smell us playing right there. We're because they're back there. There used to be trees, you guys, like little tiny trees. Like, my dad, I guess, he used to make a clubhouse back there, and like we were trying to rebuild it. So I don't know if we might have left items out there. You know what I mean? While we're and we don't know, but from what I was always told from my grandma, she would tell us, you guys, I don't know. Now I'm switching back my stories because she would tell us, don't go toward that mountain. She would always tell us, leave that mountain alone. And then we're like, why? And she would tell us, there's gonna be a witch that's gonna grab you and take you.
Oh snap.
And we just thought it was just you know what I mean? Like she's just trying to scare us. We will always go back up there, you guys. Guess what we found up in that mountain?
Ooh.
We went up that mountain. We went up that mountain and there's a cave. There's literally a cave up that mountain. There was a cave where you can go. We went inside and we found bones, pictures, hair. We found a burnt rock, you know what I mean? Like maybe somebody was doing something ritual or something.
Oh man.
But we got out of there because that whole area was like really like cold, you know what I mean? I think it's because it's a cave or whatever, but
something else is there with them.
Yeah, something else that was doing stuff too. There's a bunch of pictures in that cave too, you guys.
Like photographs of people taken. Oh man, yeah.
There's a bunch of photos, and there wasn't just adults, you guys. It was a bunch of like kids. It was kids mostly.
Yeah, that's why.
Did you see anybody?
I think. Oh, one second, Darren. I think that's why like a lot of the people on the reservation have a lot of problems. You know, like alcohol, drugs. You know, and my in-laws found something like that in this area on the reservation. Same thing that you're describing, and they shot it up with a shotgun, and then one by one, all of them are no longer here, and they're really young. You know, it's something really bad is going on, some bad juju type of deal, and that's very real. You know, I'm glad you guys got out safely. That's real stuff. That's real.
And there's like besides the doll that's been running in around the house too, like I don't know what they did with that doll, my brother and my cousins. I think they threw it away or they did something with that doll because that doll keeps, you know, looking for its baby. We never found its baby.
What the heck?
Yeah. And then there was another incident where we found a Ouija board in my old dad's room, his closet. And my dad already passed away. Like I said, you guys, my dad passed away when I was like only like 3 years old. So we were living with his mom, you know, my grandma. And my cousins lived with them because her mom died as well. You know, she passed after like probably a year after my dad passed. She passed. So my grandma took custody of them. So we all just stayed in a house with her. And we lived with her a lot, you guys, because my mom was always at work. So my grandma would just like sometimes it's so bad, but sometimes she would leave us home by ourselves, you know what I mean? Like a lot. So we started seeing a lot of things when she wasn't home. And she like, let's see, when we found that Ouija board in my dad's closet. And I remember my brother and my cousins playing with it, messing with it.
Oh man.
And my mom, she came back, right, to come pick us up or checking up on us. And she seen my brother and my cousins playing with it. And she's like, she grabbed it away from them. She's like, what are you guys doing? It looked like a homemade Ouija board, you know what I mean? She got mad. She got upset with them. She told them, don't be messing with this. You don't play with stuff like this, you know, whatever. And she threw it away. She threw it in the garbage. I remember she threw it like, she took it with her and she threw it somewhere far, you know what I mean? So where we couldn't get it, you know? Tell me why, you guys, the next following day, that Ouija board was back in the closet.
Supernatural.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Supernatural. It's portal.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Portal
It's
away.
kind of it's not an unnatural thing for you to
Um.
say that or actually hear about it. You know, these cursed items always seem to be popping up again. You
Mhm.
throw them away. You know, throw them in water, throw them in fire, whatnot.
yeah,
It's it happens. It's real. So
Yeah, it's some not to be played with for sure. I
yep.
have a few personal stories on that, and it's mentally scarred in my memories.
yeah.
And
Yep.
let's take a quick second here to catch up with our listeners and viewers out there. Sorry, I'll put you on pause real quick. Says Lysidric Willie, my uncle told me about seeing some Bigfoot prints and strange screams at night. Ooh, you New Mexico
Indeed.
side. Right here, Kelsey Jackson. Got to get the hair done right. That's what I was saying. Like I was like, yeah, she'll be here pretty soon. Oh, there you are. There, Lysidric Willie. I remember when I used to stay with my ex in laws. We seen a person walking around at an abandoned house, and it disappeared. And a white horse came running out from behind the house. What?
Hmm.
That's a skinwalker right there for sure. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Darren, you got any questions, Darren? Before.
Oh yeah. These pictures that you were seeing were they all Native Americans, or do you see anybody you knew that?
Yeah, I would say they're all Native American. They were all Native
All
American.
locals.
I wouldn't say I recognize anybody on those pictures because if I did, I would have, I would have told somebody. I mean, I still told my mom, I told my grandma, but obviously we're not supposed to be in that area. They obviously added us
Yeah.
for going up there to even looking at stuff. And I remember when I don't know if it's because I was small, that mountain was really big, and we used to go around that whole mountain and stuff. I mean, I'm just glad I didn't get hurt too because that mountain, one step you can just fall.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think I seen that mountain. Somebody posted up on TikTok not long ago, walking up one of those big mountains out there by Delcon. So I was like, "Ooh, better be careful. Some might be up there. Some
Uh-huh.
extra might be
Mm.
going on up there. Like wickedness, spiritual wickedness in high places. That's usually the case around like the high points on the reservations. But yeah, you can continue. Sorry to
All
cut
right,
you
so
off.
I'm going back with my grandma now. So we found that Ouija board back in there, and I remember my mom was like, "There's." We would tell her like it's back up there. She didn't believe us, so she looked back in the closet and pulled it out, and she's like, "There's no way." I just remember her hearing her talking to my grandma. She's like, "There's no way that this ended up back over here." She's like, she's like, "I took it back. I took it. I threw it out the car." She's like, "There's no way that they could have found it. You know what I mean? Or they could have
Mm,
placed it." And back then we didn't have a lot of vehicles. So
Mm.
I remember though, this is when things started happening with my grandma, and she started changing.
oh,
And like I said, I didn't realize anything back in the day. Now I look back at it and I'm like, oh yeah, she was definitely a witch. Like, well,
telltale signs. Oh,
there was a time one night because we weren't. I guess you could say we're naughty kids, but there's one night where we wouldn't go to sleep. We were just up. You know what I mean? We're just up. She was trying to tell us all go to bed. So she's like, all right, you guys, if you guys want to play a game, and we're like, yeah. She's like, okay. She's like, we only had one window open from the living room, and the moon was shining through that window, and you can kind of see like that was the only window that had like no curtains. Okay.
mhm.
And I maybe, or maybe she took it off, I don't know, but anyways, it was kind of weird. We had the moon was like full moon that night, and I remember it was shining through the window, so we could see like everybody in the house, whatever. It was dark though. It was dark, but you could see light from that window. That was our
Mhm.
only window where we could see light. And my grandma, she's like, all right, let's play a game. She's like, whoever I catch first, you all got to go to bed. So I was like, okay, we were all down. So we were all like, she's like, she turned off all the lights, you guys,
Sounds scary
completely black,
already. Oh,
completely black. And I remember she was standing by the window, right? so where we can see her. She flipped her hair. My grandma has a lot. She has long hair, just like me, you guys. She had her hair was fluffy too. It's like bushy, you know what I mean? She used to brush her hair all the time, and it would be like staticky, so it would like just stick up, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She flipped her hair over, and all you could see is her hair being in her face, and you could see her from the window, you know what I mean? Because that's the only lighting that came in there. And all you could see her doing is she put out her hands. Remember, like what I told you guys with my last story, with whatever was by my door, its hands was like out there.
Yeah.
And she had long nails too, you guys.
Ooh.
And she did that. All I can remember is we're running, you know. My cousins already took off to go hide, you know. And I remember I was just standing there watching her in the dark, and all I could see is her. She's like, "I'm going to get you," and she was. All I can hear is, you know what I mean, thumping. All you can hear is running, like she was running in every freaking room, you guys. We had like I think 4 rooms in that house, and all you can see her is from running one room to the next, and it was so fast, you guys. It scared the crap out of me. It scared me, and I was already in the kitchen because she was in the living room the last time I seen her, and then right when I seen her run to one room to another, I was like, okay, I have the chance to go hide, you know. And I knew the only place that I could hide that she probably wouldn't find me was the kitchen cabinet. I opened that kitchen cabinet. My brother and my cousin was in there, and they're pulling on the other side, you know, because they see me trying to come in there. So, because I'm the smallest one, they were kind of picking on me. So they pushed me out and tell me why I'm the one who got captured. So my grandma freaking grabbed me and she scratched me.
Oh.
And she was pulling me to her room, you guys. Like she was
Oh.
dragging me to the room, her room. And I was like, you know what I mean? And then my cousin, she turned on the lights, and they were like, you like you know, we were like, you won.
We don't want to play.
Like so we ran back. So we went to bed that night, you
Scary.
guys. And it freaked me up. It freaked me out though. So the next day, she decides to go to the casino. So she decides to go, or she went somewhere. I don't know. I want to say the casino. I feel like she went to the casino. But anyways, she just because she was gone for a long time. I mean, I don't know where she went. But anyway, she'd be gone for like hours, you guys. But she left. She left, and we seen her leave with her friend. And we're like, okay, we liked it better back then, I guess, because we get to do whatever we wanted. So she would always tell us, don't go in her room, you know. We're never allowed to go in her room. So decided to go in her room, you guys, and she had a bunch of mirrors in her room.
Ooh.
That's the first thing I caught. And then I felt like somebody was watching me that whole time when I went in there. And you know, you just feel the presence, and that's literally what I felt. I just felt like people were staring at me, or somebody was staring at me. And I was looking around, and I was the only one in her room, you guys. My cousin and them, they were playing with her, you know, they were in the other room. And I don't know what made me go in her room, but I went in her room. I was looking around, and I seen a shell. It was a big old shell, and I remember looking inside it, and it had like, I mean, it was burnt and all that, and it had like some kind of bone in there. I don't know what that was, but it was like small pieces of bones. And I didn't think anything about it. And so I just started looking around, and then I seen hair. I seen things that were like rituals, you know what I mean? Like, what were you doing? Like with these, I seen pictures of my dad, my auntie that were burnt pictures. It was just a lot of stuff that I seen. Again, you guys, I looked up because I was in her restroom. I looked up, and I had this it had a weird funky smell in her room too. And I was trying to look for it, you know what I mean? I found the bag that was underneath her sink, and I don't know if I want to say it was a dead animal.
Oh man.
and it was in a black trash bag. Right when I was about to open it, I looked up, and I looked in the mirror up in front of me because I was in her restroom. I looked up, and then she was standing there by the door just watching me. She was watching me. And then when she didn't say nothing at all, you guys. So when I passed, I just I was like, oh, I was just trying to look for, I was trying to look for a brush. I was just trying to make up something real quick. And she's like, she didn't say nothing. So I was walking past her, and then she just slowly closed the door, and she was just smiling on the other side before she closed the door. And I was like, what is that? You know what I mean?
Wow.
I've caught stuff like that from her, and I was like, okay, not thinking nothing of it. Time goes by. My mom ends up getting us, and they end up
Wow.
my grandma ended up, so time does go past, and then she ends up moving back to that small town that I did tell you guys about in my first story. So she ends up moving down there with my cousin. And these are when we got a little bit older. So my cousin, she had her own place. So the ones that she was taking care of, and she was living with them. And this is when, and another incident, you guys, that I end up finding out maybe she's not who she is, you know what I mean? And I was with my first relationship at that time, and we would go visit my cousin all the time. So we're gonna go stop by at her house. We're pulling up, and from what I seen my mom's car parked there. And I was like, oh, my mom's came to go see my cousin and my grandma. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So I looked down the street, and I can see my grandma from the distance, you guys, like walking with grocery bags. Like literally, she was walking just down the street. And I was like, oh, okay. Like she just got back from grocery shopping. Normally I help my grandma, with the groceries and stuff. But she comes in from the backyard through the gate, through the backyard. Because the kitchen is from the back of the building. So she walks through there to come inside. So she was already almost inside close to the house. So I was like, okay. So I was pulling up, and I was like wondering why my mom was there. So I pull up, I walk inside because the door was already open, and my mom's sitting down. And then I was like, oh, so what are you doing here? Like, and she's like, oh, I'm just talking to your grandma. And I'm like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? And then she's like, yeah, I'm just here talking to your grandma this whole time. And I'm like, my grandma is down the street, coming back with groceries. And my mom's face just got pale, like she's seen a ghost, you know what I mean? And she's like, who was I talking to then? She's like, next thing you know, my grandma comes in from the back door. She comes in from the kitchen. She's like, oh, hi. She's like, I didn't know you guys were here. She's like, hi, Penny. Like, I mean, she's all said hi to my mom and everything. And my mom's like, I'm out of here, My mom left. My mom looked at. My mom didn't say nothing to me until I end up seeing her like later on.
Mm-hmm.
And she just told me, she's like, you need to be careful around, your grandma. And I was like, she's like, don't be letting her do anything to you. Don't be like, watch yourself, watch your surroundings. You know what I mean? She just didn't like me being around her at all. And then I was like, okay. So I didn't really take it anything personal. So when I got done talking to my grandma, I went to go visit my mom, and I was like, okay, what's going on? I was like, why'd you rush out so fast? And she's like, I don't know what, but she's like, I went there, and then your grandma answered the door. And she's like, oh, go ahead, come inside. She said they were talking for the longest time, like for an hour. And she said, I was literally having blown conversation with her. And she's like, that whole time, that wasn't even your grandma that I was talking to. She's like, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I was like, because my grandma came back in with a lot of groceries,
Mm-hmm.
So my grandma didn't even know she was there at the house.
What? Wow.
So, is that doppelganger? Possibly, huh?
Yeah. Wow.
We think that she goes through portals, you guys. We really
mirrors. I was gonna say, like, your first part where the mirrors you would see. So like maybe she's traveling through there to check on you guys without you guys even noticing. That's pretty wicked right there. Yeah,
A mirror.
I would say that, portals maybe through a mirror, from the
Yeah,
restroom
a
at the
little.
grocery store.
It's
Yeah,
something, yo,
right.
because I was like, it was
Little.
just so crazy because that's not
Wow.
the first time too that this happened. Like, there
Mm,
was one time like I got in trouble when I was younger, so
yeah.
um I got in trouble when I was younger and I had to walk home because, my mom was really tough on me when I was a kid. She's like, you get yourself in trouble, you get yourself out of it. That's the way I was taught. So
Right.
I remember I was walking home and I was in Holbrook, you guys. I was in Holbrook and I was walking home and I got barely got on the freeway. You know where you're about to exit out on the freeway?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
right there. And tell me why, you guys. It was early in the morning too, you guys. It was like, God, I want to say like 4 or 5 in the morning. It was really early. And I remember like, so if you guys want to know, I got locked up when I was younger. So I got out. I got
Oh.
out the next day. I got out the next day, and then that's why when they just let you go, And I didn't have family to come and pick me up, So I was walking home, and right when I got on the freeway, like once I got on the exit about to go out, she ended up pulling up, you guys, out of nowhere. And
Hmm.
she's like, what are you doing here? She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, this happened more than once, you guys. Like, she show up out of nowhere. Like, she'll show up out of randomly. You could be far away and she still would show up randomly.
Huh.
And
That's
it's
cool.
just so weird. My mom freaked out. My mom
Uh,
don't even talk to her no more. I don't talk to her no more.
Is she still around? Is she alive?
Yeah,
Your.
yeah.
dun, dun,
That's
dun.
yeah,
uh,
no,
that
no, but
that's kind of.
it's kind of crazy though, is because like in old ways, tradition ways, we were told that if you want to live longer, that you have to kill somebody close in your family, to live long.
Mhm.
And a lot of
Hmm.
people think she does that
Yeah. Yeah, we
because
had
Huh.
that same deal. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, it's because my dad was her son. My auntie was that was her daughter. And then she only has one daughter now that's still alive. And then recently, you guys, the one that remember my cousins that she did take care of,
Yeah.
the
Mm.
one
Yeah.
the one I'm talking about, she took her in and she used to take care of her all the time, you guys, my grandma, and she ended up passing away like last year.
Wow.
Huh.
Very young, huh?
Yeah, and I really think that she's part of all this stuff that's going around, you know what I mean? Because she's close to all those people. She's close to everybody. And that's another, she keeps on trying to get involved with us and trying to ask for my brother and ask for me. And it's like, we don't want nothing from her, you know what I mean?
For
Hmm.
good reason. For
Yeah,
good
because she
reason.
keeps on telling us, oh, I want to give you guys some land. I want to give you my land. And we're like, I just don't want nothing to do with it. Like, it's just, I just don't want, you know what I mean? Because I've been already having bad experiences already as it is. Like, especially having anybody, like, I'm very, um, like, I bless my house all the time. You know what I mean? I don't just invite anybody into my home. I just had bad experiences when I got all the way to now, And my mom and my great grandma, they were always telling me, don't be afraid of your gifts, because a lot of things I see, a lot of things I dream of before it happens, they just say it's gifts.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So her, there's a lot of things, like I said, there's a lot of things that are considered as a witch to me when I got older. When I used to stay with her too, like me and my brother were really close to her from the beginning because that's our grandma, and we always loved her and everything. But there was just times, what I mean, like where she would. There was one time when I was sleeping too, and she was like standing over me, and she was just watching me sleeping.
Scary.
And I,
Hmm.
I caught her more than one time doing that with me, you guys. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then she's like, oh, I thought you were somebody else. And I'm like, what? Like, why? You know, I'm just like, why are you doing that? Like, and now I'm like, was she trying to like take my hair, or you know what I mean? Like, is she trying to, what was she trying to do? And it really makes me think about it now these days. Like, I don't know
Um,
what to.
you remember Hocus Pocus, where they're like,
Yeah,
so,
taking her.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty
Wow.
creepy right there.
And it
Well,
wasn't just me; she was doing that too. That's how I know
oh,
that somebody else was involved. She did that with my brother's ex girlfriend, and she's
what?
the one who told me about it because I kept all this to myself, you guys. I don't really tell people anything, but I remember
Mhm.
when she was telling me, she's like, yeah, she's like, I got creeped out. She's like, what she said, she's like, your grandma creeps me out, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And then she's like, yeah, one night she's a one night I was sleeping, me and your brother were sleeping, and in the living room, and she's like, she stood over me, over my body, and was watching me closely, like close to her face.
Oh,
Hmm.
And
jeez.
she's
Uh,
like, she said she woke up and she woke my brother up, and he got after. He was like, what are you doing, like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, she's like, I didn't, she's like, I wasn't doing nothing. And she just like act like nothing ever happened.
hmm.
Jeez. Yeah.
Is your grandmother? Is she Nake? Is she Mexican or is
No,
she
No,
she's Native American.
Native
Navajo.
American?
Navajo. Yeah,
Uh,
Navajo.
f- for some reason, I just got like your bruja, your
It could
Mexican
be like
witchcraft for some
we're half
reason.
half. We're half Mexican, half Native American. But
Oh, yeah. Well, huh? That I don't know. For some reason, I just had to, you know, ask that question.
it
I
could
don't know
be.
for
You
whatever
never know.
reason.
Like, because everything that I think I've seen, like, she's always been you know what I mean? And like, even with my first story, when I was telling you guys about the whatever I seen at the from the entrance of my brother's room, it
Mhm.
literally reminds me everything that I seen from her, like what she does. You know what I mean? So I was like
Hmm.
thinking, was that her? Maybe that was her. Trying to take me, because
Yeah,
like I told
I
you,
would say
she was trying
so.
to pull me, or whatever it was. It was trying to pull me through the mirror.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
my
Wow.
cousin, remember my cousin? I was telling you guys about my first story about my cousin. The same thing happening to her at the same apartments.
Mhm.
She
Yeah.
said that the thing was touching her and her sister. She's related to me on my dad's side too.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Oh,
Huh.
Yeah. It just all just makes sense right there. I know what you're. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. The over my side of the reservation, we had that problem of one famous guy living off his own family, his great grandkids, his grandkids, and even his own offspring. And I guess back in the 90s, my grandpa shot his wife. I guess my grandpa was driving down the road with her son. And I guess while he was driving down the road, he seen a coyote, pacing them. He got his rifle out and shot it. And then when they went to her son's house, they seen her mom walk up, and she's like, "Why are you shooting me? You almost shot me." And he's like, "What? That was a coyote that I was shooting at, not you." And he just turned to his friend, her son, and that's when he realized that his friend's parents were skinwalkers.
oh
Wow.
my!
Yeah, so and
And I
they
don't
live
know
off
how
by
they
that
become one of those, but it's crazy. It's like I'm guessing you got to do a lot of, like, you know what I mean, like what my grandma's probably doing, and
sacrifice.
yeah, sacrifice and all that, because that's another reason why I'm not around her no more, or I don't even like out, and then another thing too, I hate to say it, but when I'm missing something, I'm always thinking it's her. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
I
Because you
Huh.
guys
I,
see,
I
I always have this necklace on. I always have a certain necklace on, and one there's the time where I lost this necklace, and I know where I always put it. I always keep it in the same area, and I knew where I put it. You know what I mean? This time I was like, okay, it's in this. It's in this. You know what I mean? It's in this pocket. It's in the zipper. There's no way I can misplace it. Find out it was missing. It was missing for about almost over a year, pretty much. And then you know what? It popped up, and it was still in the same area.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's that is really really fishy. And before you continue, let's catch up with our viewers out there. 1 second here, Mr. Curly. Navajo time is 30 minutes late. It's okay. I'm Navajo.
Hmm.
Tyson Lolito. How's it going down there? Another great show, guys. I'm loving the true
Oh,
Native American stories. Heck
oh yeah.
yeah. Yeah, glad for you to join us, Tyson. That's a team member right there, one of our team members. Tyson Lolito again. I see the new background logo. Bigfoot tracks near Gallup, New Mexico. People around Gallup, New Mexico. People around the Gallup area. Oh yeah, yeah, that one.
Oh
There's
yeah.
that video on TikTok that's been circulating where they hear out there in Gallup where it's trying to sound like a big cow, but it's not a cow. It's going, "Roar," but you know what I mean. It's loud, and I had that same story that correlates that in Lachi area page to
Hmm.
Bitter Springs, and when it's doing that, it's slaughtering sheeps that night.
Huh.
So it strikes during the full moon. It loves blood. So with our, I know we have a lot of Navajo listeners out there. So if you guys can keep your ear open, and just if you guys smell anything weird, best thing you guys can do, everyone, I suggest this to everybody is get a Sony digital recorder and just push record, put it outside, leave it out all night, and then you can listen to what traffic you had around your house while you were asleep. Um, right here again,
Yeah.
Cedric Willie. Do you ever wonder if she chose you to carry on what she knows? That's what I was thinking.
Hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
she's like wanted to choose you to carry on the torch because they always need an apprentice, and usually the apprentice that they choose is usually the granddaughter,
Oh,
that
that's
the
creepy.
one that has gifts. Yeah,
Yeah.
so she's probably watching you. Make sure you cover your mirrors at home.
Oh, I do.
Right. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even like my TV facing toward me. You know what I mean? I always get that weird, ugly feeling like somebody's watching me.
uh,
Yeah. That,
oh,
that's
definitely.
it's a it's a weird it's a weird experience about the mirrors. I think this is the first time I heard anything talking about mirrors. Like it might be a
Mm,
mirror jumper. Look look in the
yeah.
mirror and see. Yeah, I don't know. I just mirrors in itself is just a real strange
Yeah, I
uh
know Michael
object.
Jackson, he had a room full of mirrors where he
Right?
would contact,
Mm,
something dark would come through the door. They said doorway would open. And I remember one time I seen something like that, a doorway opening through TV. I was watching the TV and kids, this is word of advice, kids. Before I seen this, I was with my roommate out on the balcony and he had some kind of spice. We smoked a bowl of spice and it's crazy, and he went to his room to go play his PS4 and I was in the living room. This is in Mesa. We are living in Mesa, Arizona at the time. And I was sitting on the I sit on the couch, I turned on the TV, I was flipping through the channels and there's this Christian heavy metal rock station
Yeah.
going on. And then while the band was playing, the lights was flashing in the background. I seen a door open and I seen a little devil with horns. He's all red. He came running out and he jumped out the TV. He crawled out and he jumped into me. And man, oh man, I jumped up. I ran to the wall and I put my head on the wall because I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. Something was going on horribly, and I put my head on the wall and I started praying for myself. I was praying probably for like an hour, and it went away. And
I hate
I was
yeah.
sober.
Yeah.
hate that
Yeah.
feeling.
It's mirrors. It's weird. I have one Apache man. He's a son of pastor. A
Yeah.
preacher.
Mm,
And what he was saying was him and I think it was his lady, his wife were getting in an argument. So he decided just to go, take a walk, and he went walked into like an abandoned building, just to look around, and he seen a mirror in there. And what he said, I looked in the mirror, and in the back of the doorway in the restroom was what he said was a devil, was a demon, watching him, and it's sitting there just. I guess it had its hand on top of the doorway and was looking down at him. You look back and the you just like looking back and forth. He says like, "What the hell?" After that, he ran he ran back to his wife and
Oh my
told her what was what he's seen, and then after that they
Mm.
put away with the silliness of arguing, and the
Oh
devil's
yeah.
always watching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey Molly.
and you know what? It's crazy about speaking about mirrors too. I remember I was in my grandma's restroom one time, and
Mhm.
it was probably when she was at home. This is before I found out anything in there, right? And I was in her restroom, and I remember I don't know what made me think of looking into the mirrors, but you remember the mirrors? They would be like a front mirror, right, in front of you, and then they
Mm,
have those side mirrors where for the cabinet for like where you could put all
yeah.
your items in. I remember that opening, like, because you know how it opens and it's facing the other mirror, right?
Mhm.
I remember, I don't know why I did it, but I remember
Oh.
when I did that and I faced the mirror to both the mirrors, right? And you can see they expand to like more mirrors, right? Inside the mirror. I don't know how to make sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you
I
know how
see it.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
face the
You
mirrors
see
Yeah.
together,
it.
like it's like almost like portal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember looking into it when I was like little. I don't know why. The both mirrors were like this, and I was trying to look as much as I can. I was looking inside the mirrors after
Oh
a
man.
mirror. I remember seeing another freaking like living room or another home, like inside a house. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. This
Hmm.
was at your grandma's house? You did
Yes,
that?
this was at my grandma.
Oh geez, you figured you cracked the code. Oh my
So
gosh.
that's where I was like, I remember that though. I was like, I remember, and then ever since
Oh
then,
my
though,
gosh.
I know I stopped doing it because I remember telling my grandma. I remember telling my other grandma, and I remember it was a different grandma, and I remember telling her, she was like, "You don't do that. You don't mess with that." She's like, "That's evil. That's evil spirit. That's evil." She was always
Yeah.
telling me, "Don't be doing that. You can
Huh.
bring something in." She said,
Mm-hmm. Oh my
It
gosh.
these mirrors. It kind of reminds me of the Harry Potter movie where I think one of them had a piece of a mirror. I think it was Harry Potter, the main character, had a mirror, and he was looking through it, and all he could see was someone else's eye looking back at him. Uh,
Jeez.
Man, I forgot what movie it was, but that's it seems more realistic
"Yeah,
now. These
Yeah.
how much
Mm-hmm.
information is put down in these Harry Potter movies, and
Yeah.
what you brought
It's
to
real.
us too
Yeah.
is just this mirror stuff, and it makes you wonder if how much information is truly leaked in the mainstream media to
I
where
think it
it's
is. I think
almost
it really
Mhm.
is. I think that's how they can get through. Like anybody, you know what I mean? Anybody that messes with the other side. I don't know. I
Mhm.
think it depends on how much power they have too. Like I
Yeah.
said, I was like
Gifted.
my great great grandma told me we were born with gifts, and my mom was always told me don't be afraid of your gifts. And because my mom has gifts too, and
Hmm.
my mom, and she obviously probably passed it on to me,
Genetically. Yeah.
but I
There's
would
yeah.
see a lot of things. I would see
mhm.
even spirits that I'm not supposed to see. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
You're not supposed to see these things, but I would see them all the way till I got even till now. You know what I mean? I still see things.
Hmm.
I still have things messing with me. And I think it also they bug you too, is because they probably think that you see them. You know what I mean? You can see them, so it's so
Mhm.
normal to me now. Like I try not to be afraid of it because I am still afraid, but I was always told don't be afraid because that gives them more power.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Hmm.
um,
Let's finish
Wow.
off these guys real quick. Let me pause you real quick, Vanessa. Sorry. Melody Alvarez. Hey,
Hey,
that's your
Mo.
sister.
Yep.
Theodore Cat Joey. Hello,
Yeah.
Vanessa.
There's a
Hi, Darren. Emerson Nez. Deuces, brothers and sisters. What's up? There's another movie. I don't know if you guys ever seen called Cold Mountain. With
yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
they
They
had
they
that.
they
Yeah,
look
they
through
put
the well or
yeah in the mirror. Yeah, they put a mirror
no.
over her, and she's laying down at the well. And then she sees like her baby daddy coming, like in the
Yeah.
crows type of deal. So
Yeah.
that
It's these mirror stuff. I think it's Sleepy Hollow. They do the same thing too. They're looking through a mirror and they're doing some type of chant to see who the husband or the whoever's gonna dance next or something like that, man.
Oh,
Mirror
that's
talk, dude.
creepy.
It's it's
I gotta
it's
watch
it's
that
a
again. Sleepy
different
Hollow.
it's a different
Mm,
world right now,
mm.
different reality.
But go ahead, Vanessa. Go ahead. You can
Um,
continue.
with uh with my grandma too, I remember like why I say I think she does stuff like that too is I don't know if she's a shapeshifter too. That's probably the best way you could put it instead of saying skinwalker. But I think she's one of them too. I don't know, like I said, I don't know, or unless she gets evil praise to the evil, you know what I mean, the evil people and they come after her family. I don't know. I don't know how things work. But before my aunt passed away, um, my mom would hang out with her all the time. And this is a story from my mom, what she told me. She said that one day she said that she just came running in. My aunt just came running inside and she said that she's like she told my mom, she's like, let's go, we have to leave, we have to leave. She's like, hurry up and get in the car. And my mom's like, okay, like she didn't really know what's going on, so she's like, she got her in the car and they started driving. And it was dark that time, you guys. She told me, she's like, all she remembers is she's like, drive faster, and she kept looking back from her window. And my mom said she was driving fast, like really fast. And she said that um whatever it was, my aunt was freaked out what she's seen. She couldn't explain it. But my mom said that she was driving and all it, because it was all dark, right?
Mhm.
And it was late at night and they were just driving on the road really fast. And if you know the reservation at in Tisto, you know it's just a straight, you know, road. And she said she was driving so fast. She was like kind of scared for my aunt, and my aunt's like, she's like, don't look back, don't look back. And then my mom ends up looking like on the side of her, you know what I mean, like on the side of her window. And my mom said that she's seen is these red eyes, red, she's like, she will never forget, it was just red eyes. It was on the side of her window looking at my aunt. And she said that they were driving so fast. She's like, there's no way it could have been a person. She's like, because whatever it was chasing them. And she said they got all the way down to the town. Remember the town that's closer to there? They got to that. And whatever it was, it finally stopped. But
Wow.
ever since then, my aunt, after not long after that, my aunt ended up passing away.
Oh, jeez.
And they think that that was one of the reasons. And
Because
then
she
with
looked back.
and then with my dad died in a knife fight.
Oh
And
man.
that's kind of, if you think about rituals, you probably gotta, you know what I mean, like it probably was something like assuming like, okay, he had to die from this. I don't know, but my mom always told me she didn't like my grandma. The only reason why was because my grandma was trying to hurt my mom a bunch of times. And
Oh man.
she would literally like try to hurt my mom. Like she found so many things that my mom, like she caught my grandma trying to do, you know what I mean, to her. And she's like, ever since then, she's like, I don't trust your grandma. She's like, I don't trust your grandma. And she would always get mad at us because we always want to go see my grandma, you know? And she was like, and I didn't tell her none of this stuff, you guys, until I got older, until I got old enough to tell her. I just felt like she just never believed me, you know? So I just kind of kept things to myself. But she started believing me because she's like, this is what your grandma used to do. This is what I caught her doing. I caught her playing with my hair, you know what I mean, when I was sleeping. I caught your grandma like trying to tell somebody, write to somebody and telling them to kill me. You know what I mean? And
Wow.
she's like, grandma really wants you guys and I don't know why she wants you guys. And you know, it makes kind of sense when that person was talking about maybe she's trying to make you like her, maybe.
Right.
I
Maybe just
I think about that now. I'm like, okay, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe just needed more young blood, I guess you would say. this mirror talk kind of reminds me of that Snow White, mirror, mirror on the wall,
Mm.
and
Oh
that
yeah,
that lady,
love
yeah,
that.
she put a hit out on Snow White. It's kind of weird, and even weirder is that there's a demonic face in that mirror that she's talking to. Like
If she's still alive,
I
you
don't
guys,
know.
I don't know how old my grandma is now. You guys, nobody knows. Nobody
Mm.
knows.
Yeah.
Only person that knows is her sister. And you know what? I always think of her sister as the good witch, and she's the bad witch, because
Mhm.
her sister is like the sweetest person. Like she donates. You know what I mean? She helps
Mm.
kids out. She's just a good woman, and
That's
she
good.
yeah. The other one is the opposite. Like I always heard people tell me, your grandma is loony. Your grandma is a witch. Your
Uh,
grandma
tell
wasn't
tell
even
me
supposed to be here.
Jeez.
tell me another one. Is there a smell difference between both of these? Not sound weird, but just like does one smell bitter? Other smell like cinnamon or something. Is there?
Sweet or bitter?
like
Yes.
Anything
what do
weird
you mean?
like that? If not, I don't know.
Like what do you mean? Like
Does does one have a different, like a bitter smell to it? Like how they say when the evil presence comes by, you smell
I don't
DK.
smell.
like
I can't
like
smell it, but I can
sulfur
sense it. I
or
can sense it. I can sense it.
you.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
well,
I
that's
feel
not.
that. I feel energy. I feel
Mhm.
energy. Everything. Like if I feel, I can feel like if I bad spirits around me, I can feel all my hair going. Like you know what I mean? Like if you get like chills,
It,
I
yeah,
get
Yeah.
I
huh?
get bad feeling. I feel in and oh, like I get nasty. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a
Mhm.
nasty gut feeling. Um,
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys about one. This is what I'm talking about. When I walked to my there's one time because I had a younger brother that passed like recently, and so when I went to his grave to go look for it, um, it was way in the back, right, and I couldn't find it. So I was walking past, where there's everybody else's graves around you. I was walking and I walked over one of them, and when I walked over one of them, I freaking got sick, you guys. I felt like
Oh
Uh,
snap.
nauseous. I felt dizzy. I don't know, there's a certain way, and it had a stink smell too. And I
Mhm.
hmm.
looked at the grave that I was at, and I was feeling like gross, you guys. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like food poisoning. It's a weird, nasty feeling, and I will
Mhm.
never forget it.
Is it
It's kind of
almost
Wow.
when you
like
smell
a?
old people, I mean not old people. It's
le-
kind of
Mhm.
when you smell dead people.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. It's like a
Yeah.
decaying. Yeah. Quick question or quick right here. This is what Cedric is backing up the same thing we're talking about here.
Okay.
From what I found out, having my gift, it's passed down through generations. It chooses who it wants, such as trust or strong will, but sometimes often use it for the bad stuff, such as skinwalkers. And he says, usually if you have these gifts, you'll see more of the supernatural things. Yeah, yeah,
I
like
do. I do.
somewhat like everyone has like different gifts for like different purposes. We all have like just like the Bible says, some are the eyes, some are the ears, some are the hands, some are the head, some are the tail. Just like the same thing with us, some can see, some have the gift to shape shift and go get from point A to point B, and some can like sing things to existence, like making the water go low and making the rivers go high. When they go raiding, they would have different people that had gifts. So when they would raid the Mormons, they would go back to the Colorado River. That same chanter would sing, the river would go low, they'd cross, and he would turn around and sing again. The river would recede again, and the Mormon militia couldn't cross the Colorado River. So we would do that a lot. So like certain gifts would be used for certain uh times. But
Hmm.
but
And
Darren, you got any more?
that is true, because you think about our medicine men, you know what I mean? Our
Yeah.
medicine women, medicine men. You can't just go to anybody, because you don't know who to actually know who's the actual good person, you know what I mean? Who's
Yeah.
doing the good things for you guys. And it kind of sucks, because our old generation, we had a lot of good medicine men. Now these days it's not like it used to be.
Yeah. It's all
And
Yeah.
it's
money
and
now.
they are hard
Yeah.
to
Yeah. I was
find.
gonna say that too.
they're
It's all
really hard to
money.
Mhm.
find too, because people are like, they just think, oh, you can just go to whoever. No, like it's really hard to find people, especially the old elderlies, the ones that are really good at this. It's really hard to find people like that now these days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a sad thing. Some of their songs that were sung aren't going to be sang no more. You know, they're just lost, and
Yeah,
it's pretty sad
Yeah.
thing to hear and say,
Yeah.
pretty much. So,
That's what my grandpa said too. You know, like a lot of people coming in trying to not giving him food, giving him this, and saying, "Hey, can you teach me these songs?" You know, and he's like, "No, all these songs are gonna go with me. No one, I don't want to pass these on. No one's worthy enough to get these
yeah.
songs, these
You have
gifts."
to be gifted to for you to be on that level, I guess, to be taught. Um,
Mm,
I'm very traditional. When I do my old ways, like I still go by my Christian ways as well, because I do believe in my higher power. Um, I wouldn't say it's God. I want to say it's Jesus, because we don't know. We really don't know who our higher power is. You know what I mean?
mhm,
And that's why I just say it's just a higher power. I mean, nobody really knows who we're actually praising. Who we're actually. It's just a lot. You know what I mean? Like there's so
mhm,
many people
yeah, I
that
hear
pray
you.
for all different things. We just don't know who our actually higher power is.
mhm,
Um, but that's why we do. We also go to medicine mans. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
we try to do our old ways and stuff. Um, I get, but
Yeah.
I believe in all that though, because especially with the medicine man, when they do tell you stuff and you're like, oh shoot, like that's what I was already experiencing. You know what I mean? Or that's what I was
Mm.
going through, and you don't
Mhm.
tell them nothing, and they just tell you everything.
Yeah. Like one of the weird things, like when I was in Job Corps, I remember like probably the third like meeting, I was sitting there and just observing all the kids that were there, all the boys, and there's just one kid that stuck out, and I started observing him day after, as the day went, and the next day the meeting, I sat like one person from him, I was watching him, something he was off, something was telling me, to something's going on with him. And then one day I asked him, I was like, "Hey," and he's like, "Yeah," and making small talk, and out of nowhere, I just laid it on him. I was like, um, "This question's gonna kind of weird you out, but I'm gonna ask anyway." I said, "Are you practicing anything like witchcraft, any type of deal like that?" And man, his face, he just got pale, and his eyes was boom, 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 looking like left and right, looking around. He's like, "Who told you?"
Yeah,
He was like
Mm.
he was compromised, like he was a spy type, that type of deal. His reaction, and he's like, "How did you know? Who told you? Who told you?" I was like, "Relax, relax, relax. I just know. I just know. I don't know how to tell you, but I just had to ask you." And then he started, you know, like explaining to me what Wicca is. I never knew what Wicca was. And so he's like explaining to me it's like the forces of nature, and he really tried to recruit me in that Wiccan religion. And they invited me out to a gathering in Wyoming, and I almost went, but I had a weird feeling like maybe I'm the sacrifice. I was like,
really.
no, no, I choose life. Yeah, so strange things like that
Huh.
happen around us. But
No,
you can
I
go
know.
ahead,
I
Vanessa.
I think about all these like
Uh,
these gifts and stuff, and I feel like whatever, like something will always follow you. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been followed so much. Even when I moved out of state before. I was in Kentucky, and I had this incident. My man was in the military, and he was off, on a military post. We lived outside the military post.
mhm,
So we're barely getting situated into our apartment. Um, I remember I was alone by myself. I didn't even have my kid with me at the time. I was like, he was actually with my mom. They were still in Arizona, until we got situated. We were going to bring him down. So I
mhm,
was there by myself, and I was washing dishes. And I remember I heard somebody knocking on the door. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, like, I was just thinking it's the Mormons, Mormons stopping by, knocking on everybody's door because they normally come. So I was like, okay. I was like, I looked through the hole, I looked through the hole before I opened the door. I didn't see nobody. So I was like, okay. Walked back to the kitchen, heard the door knocking again. Like it was louder, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay. So I went back over there, looked through the mirror or looked through the hole again, and I looked and I couldn't see nobody again. You guys never
Hmm.
open the door for nothing.
Yeah.
I opened the door though. Right when I opened the door,
Oh.
all you feel is a cold
When.
breeze pass by me.
Oh.
Cold
Hmm.
breeze passed by me, and I was like, and I looked out. I literally walked all the way out and looked, and I didn't see nobody in the hallways. So I was like, okay,
Man.
maybe somebody's just playing a trick with me, thinking that kids are just messing around. Go back inside the house. I was like, okay, go back to washing dishes. And I just felt like presence, you know what I mean? Like, remember how I told you guys I can just feel that energy? I felt energy in that house, that apartment. And I was like, okay, like I just tried not to budge with it. So I was just doing dishes by myself. It was quiet. It was just nice and quiet. And I was doing dishes. And then all I remember hearing, I felt something walk up right behind me. And all I can feel is all my hairs went up, like everything, just my back of my hair. Like I just felt like tension. And then all I heard was, I heard my mom's voice, you guys.
Oh man.
I heard my mom's
Hmm.
voice. And it was like, she's like, I remember her, like, when your mom's scared. Well, she would, like, my mom sounded scared, like she was afraid, like she was yelling out for my name. She yelled out for my name. She's like, Vanessa. And it was right behind me. And I freaked out. I turned and there's nothing behind me. And it was so loud, you guys. It was so loud.
Huh.
It yelled right behind me and yelled right by my ear, and it said my name.
Yeah.
I ran to my room. I ran over my room. I jumped on my bed. My room was the you know, brightest room of the house, I guess you could say. I just jumped on my bed and I was curled up in a ball and I was crying. And I didn't know, I didn't want to be in there. I can hear like whatever it was breathing. And I
Hmm.
was so freaked out. I called my man. I had my phone in my hand. I just called my man and told him to get home right away. I just couldn't. I was so scared. I didn't want to get out of the room. I was shaking and I was really scared. And I told my man when he got home and I was crying, he's like, "It's okay. There's nothing in here." He's like, you probably. When I talked to my mom and my grandma, because they're very traditional, and they said you probably brought something in your home. So she's like, bless the house. She's like, bless your home, bless everything. She's like, bless yourself. And that wasn't the only time, you guys. I've had this happening to me like everywhere I go. It doesn't matter where I'm at. It's always a spirit. It always follows me.
You,
Even when I moved into this house that I'm living in now, I see shadows. I see my son. Obviously, he's only 4 years old, and he looks in the closet and he's talking to something all the time in the closet.
Oh man.
Um,
hmm.
and I don't know if I passed on, if you can pass on these to your kids or whatever, but I
Yeah.
don't know if it's even messing with my kids because like my little one, he's always talking to something in it's in a closet up in the corner, you know what I mean?
Oh
And
man.
like, and I kind of like, no, you got it, and he goes and plays with whatever it is sometimes. And I had to bless my house. Like I had to bless my house so many times because this is an old house too. Um, the only
Hmm.
reason I know it's an old house as well is because on the concrete and out in the backyard there has little handprints of kids, and they have the dates on there. And I think it was 1865 or 18 something.
Jeez.
Huh.
That's
Yeah,
old.
Yeah.
it's an old house. Yeah.
Yeah. I,
Real 1 second right here. Sorry, there, real quick. The Cedric Willie. This is from earlier when we were talking our earlier topic just a second ago before we changed this. This is what he said. Exactly, Vanessa. I helped the lady before, and when I looked in the first, I seen that she went to a bad medicine man, and someone paid him money to turn around and witch her back. Wow. Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty crazy. And Mr. Curly, does your grandma have a bear paw?
Yeah, she does.
So,
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
We didn't have no animals in the house, if that's what you mean. We don't have no animals in the house. Even the dogs that were outside, they weren't our dogs either. They were the neighbors' dogs. So
Wow.
whatever the dogs were, they would always come around my grandma's house, and they would always be outside, and she would always try to chase them away. There's even an incident with my brother trying to bring some of his friends inside my grandma's house, and they wouldn't even come. Oh, like we didn't even have friends because of my grandma, because people were just afraid of her. People seen things that we didn't see, I guess, too, because they're like, my brother's friends like that. He's like, I don't even want to walk into your grandma's house. He's like, it's not. He's like, it's no. He's like, that probably. He's like, that probably was once your grandma. He's like, but that's not your grandma no more.
What? That's crazy. He
And
must have seen some.
that
Oh,
guy, that my brother's friend, he was actually, he was on the start to becoming a medicine man too.
oh man. Okay, so he must have seen
He
a
seen
few things.
something. He seen something that we didn't see, because he just said, like, I was always wondering why, like, our friends never wanted to come by or come over, because they said they were just so scared of my grandma. And I was just like, oh, she's not mean, you know. I was like, she's not mean. She's nice. And they're like, there's this one incident where me and my friends were sleeping, and I had one friend over. She actually like literally slept over, just because I kept begging her, you know. And she finally came over, and she was playing with me. And she was always looking around, like looking, you know what I mean? Like, and she's like, "Where's your grandma?" And then I'm like, "Oh, she's in her room." And then she's like, "Oh, okay." And I was wondering why she kept turning around, looking at the door, you know. And she's like, and she would tell me, she's like, "Why is your grandma looking at us?" And I'm like, "My grandma's," and I would walk out there, and I would go to her room, and she'd be sitting on her bed reading a book.
What?
Like, so I don't know if she was playing tricks or if she was, because my grandma used to run around a lot. It was weird. It was creepy. It was kind of creepy.
oh, your
Jeez.
grandma was a runner, natural sprinter, huh?
Well, that's what. No, she's not. She's not. She's like, every time I'm around her, she don't run. She don't. She barely walks. You know what I mean? Like, she can walk, but it's like I never seen her running. I mean, like, except that time when we were playing hide and seek, you know, and that was creepy because she was running fast, and I was like, what?
That's
I don't.
kind of
So,
weird. Yeah. Well, that
But
is
my
weird.
friend,
Definitely.
okay, my friend. So we went to bed that night, and we're sleeping on the floor, you know, together, and she was like, she woke up, she screamed, and then I was like, what? I turned on the light. I was like, what happened? What happened? You know, and I was like not thinking anything. She's like, I gotta go home. She's like, I'm going home. She's like, I'm going home right now. She's like, I'm going home. And she didn't live that far from us. You know what I mean? She lived like walking distance from us. And I just waited. I went outside, just watched her, you know, walk home, and just made sure she made it home from the distance where I seen. So she got home. She went inside. And then I was like, ever since then, I never talked to her or seen her again. And then when I did talk to her the next day, this is the last time I actually talked to her, was when the next day. And I went to her house, and her mom's like, oh, she don't want to play with you. She don't want to see you no more. She don't. And I was like, I was so confused. So I ended up like going to her window, you know, and then she answered it. And she was like, she finally told me what happened. And I just told her what happened, like what's wrong. And then she's like, well, she's like, you didn't see what I seen. And then I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, your grandma was on top of the ceiling looking at us.
Oh
And
snap!
she's like, she ran out. She was on top of the ceiling. They said she was on top of the ceiling. I don't know what she was holding on. I don't know what she was doing. She's like, it freaked me out. And all they seen her running, like crawling out of the freaking room.
On the ceiling, crawling out from
Yes,
the ceiling.
kind
Oh,
of remind me of
Spider-Man.
yeah, it's just yeah. And I know I can
Oh.
imagine that now, because I would be scared, because my grandma always left her hair down.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
a
was
sight to see. To be a fly on that wall right there,
yeah.
huh?
yeah. So yeah, she ever
Wow.
since then never talked to her again. She was just so
Wow.
scared. It's just like
Uh,
she's like, you need to. She's like, you need to go back. She's like, you need to go back home with your mom. She's like, she was just telling me that. She's like, she was just Oh, sure. She was just more concerned about me.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. These voices, these wandering, uh, these echoes. I go through the same thing too myself. Like earlier today, I was laying down and I heard my name being called out, just clear as day. And I like Darren, and I was like, "What?" And I even answered like, "Yeah, what's up?" And then everybody's all gone. It's like, who the heck? It's the weirdest thing. But even on my Facebook, I even write it out like, I heard a voice call my name out. And the when I was back at the house last, I heard it. I heard my name be called in a lady, a woman's voice. I heard it so clear that I even looked up to where my name was being called, and it was the top of the house type deal. And I was just like, what the hell? So, I believe you. I believe you. It's really weird, and it's really
There's
odd to explain stuff like this, But as long as we're talking about it, because it happens. The weird stuff does happen. Witchcraft is very much real and still thriving. Uh, Even with your grandmother, tell me, does she carry anything? Does she always have something on her, like a medallion, or like a anything that you would say that she always had on her? Even when it came down to like cologne or perfume.
I don't remember no cologne or perfume on her. I know she had let's see if I can think about it.
or
She was
or
she would
something.
wear, she would wear jewelry. She would always wear a
What
necklace and she would always wear rings. Um, but I would never
Nothing
see
really.
her without her necklace. You know what I mean? She was
Mm.
always wearing
Yeah,
a
like,
necklace.
Nothing really
is she
sticking out, huh?
Yeah, she had a
is she
necklace on
always
at nighttime, like when she would sleep
is
and stuff.
she or do you always see her like fiddling with something, or like rubbing a bead,
Yes.
type deal? Oh,
One time I caught her. She had a crystal in her hand, and she
Oh
was
snap!
playing with it. It's kind of like on a chain too. It was weird. It had a whole. I remember because I don't know why it caught my eye. It caught my attention. What's crazy too is that till this day she always still has crystals in her room.
Mm.
Crystal
mm.
rocks. I don't know what that
Uh, uh,
means. But
Conduit. Hmm.
yeah,
everything
it's
there is crystal. Until this day too. I remember like the last time, and it's crazy is that she has pictures of me and my brother on her wall, like on her in her
Wow.
household. She has like because I'm with my mom and I was in a picture with my dad, and we're little, you know what I mean, and she has a family picture of us hanging on the wall. She has a lot of pictures of us actually. So that's what I
mm,
say. She can always, and this is another thing, you guys. I hate to say it, but they say that when you tell stories about the person, they can hear you.
Yeah.
You know,
mm,
um, she already has pictures of me, so I don't know what she's doing with them pictures. Who knows? Like, if they can have the smallest thing of you and
Hmm.
do anything with that.
Yeah. Just a little tiny fabric off your shirt too. They
That's
just
why
get
I
a
say
little tiny piece.
I
Hmm.
have a couple of my jewelries, my precious jewelries that I always have. They'll be missing, and then it's the same with my man. Sometimes like he'll always have a certain thing, and he'll be like, I can't find it. It's always right here. Like where did it go? There's
mm.
no way nobody can get to it, because we leave it in that box or whatever,
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Wow.
All this talk, it just makes you think. Crystals and mirrors are pretty much the same. That they show a reflection, or you can look the room at some points.
Mhm.
It makes me wonder if that's some type of witchcraft that they do.
Yeah. They
Obviously the medicine men, they do have
yeah.
their crystal gazers, but
With the oh, go ahead there.
mirror gazing too would be the same too. Like the what did they say that? Oh man, what was that guy's name? He does all the predictions. I forgot what his name was. He's from like Europe, old, really old man. But what I heard was he was doing mirror gazing like that, but he had a clean silver bowl, and he just pour water in it, light a candle in the back, and he would be able to see the future that way. It's really odd, but
And
magic
you know, I think
is
about
real.
yeah, I think about crystal rocks is like the last time I did see one was through a medicine man, you know. I
Oh,
seen one from a crystal rock from why, and they mentioned what a crystal rock was for, and they
mm,
said that's to look into the future, that's to look through. It's like a mirror, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
The skinwalkers, they use the same crystal at night, but it projects red. They use like a little flashlight while they're out and about. So like certain parts of the reservation, if you really were to just sit and camp, like you're stargazing, but you're looking on the dark valley below, you will see a red light wandering across the valley very fast, and that's them right there. They use the same
Hmm.
crystals at night to give off red light, and like seeing that light close up, like I always, it looked like to me where I don't know if you ever had a flashlight and you put your hands over it and it's red. You
Yeah,
kind of look, yeah, it looked
Oh.
like that, like strange seeing the
Hmm.
lights coming around and traveling around. Very strange.
yeah, and it's
Wow.
crazy. So like you see a lot of things in the reservation too. Like there's this
Oh
time
yeah.
at my grandma's house they seen an alien ship, like a
Oh,
UFO.
ooh,
Yeah, and it,
uh,
it
Hmm.
wasn't once, it was more than three times that we seen it, and it would always be well, there's one time it hovered over my grandma's house, and
mm,
it was just sitting there for a
I-
while.
Is this the
mhm.
grandmother that the witchy grandmother?
No, this is my other
The
grandma. This is my
Oh,
different
Oh,
grandma.
okay.
Yeah. So she lived in Bird Springs.
So what did it
Oh.
do when it was over the house?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
Explain
sure.
it. Describe it.
They said that it would hover over the on top of them, and it would just sit there, and they'll just see it. They'll just see it flying, like just hovering on top. They didn't know what it was doing. They like obviously didn't know, but it would come around. It would even come around their cattle, like their cattle area,
Oh,
like their sheep
mhm.
area. They would see it on top of that. They don't know what it was doing over there. I don't understand that too. um UFOs, but a lot of things happen to over there at my grandma's too. That grandma, my grandma, on that side, she would have little people that lived in the desert, but not little people,
Wow.
not
Huh.
little people like from my first story,
Yeah, a little
not
bit
the
bigger.
small people that look like that. These
Yeah.
people were like dwarf peoples,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Huh.
seen those ones.
and
Mm.
Uh.
those dwarf peoples lived in the desert. That's where they lived. They lived in the hills. They lived in the sand. They lived in sand.
Yeah, they come out at night
Huh.
too. They
Yeah, they
gather
do.
they gather something in the bushes. And there's one that's lookout like on the bush. He looks out like this, he looks around and he whistles, he makes a weird noise while all the other ones they stop. And then he makes another noise and they go in, they dig in the bushes, they gather something. I don't know what in the world they're doing,
Huh.
but yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, no,
So.
no, you're good. So when that happened with those people too, the only reason how they caught them from where they were living and stuff, was because my grandma said that they were watching TV. Her and her grandkids, there were just like two grandkids there, and she said they were watching TV, and their window was open. They had a big window that was facing, that faced them, and they said that they seen these two short dwarfs jumping, like trying to like look, through the window. They're look inside, so they kept seeing something popping their head up, and they they were like, "What is?" So they were like, they grabbed their flashlight real quick. My grandpa went out. He was following. He said he seen them, and they just started booking it. They took off, and all you can see is their footprints, and then once their footprints stop, oh shit, their footprints stop.
Mhm.
So there's a
So.
lot.
Uh.
There's weird, different things out there in the reservation.
So their footprints stop. Do you think these are the portal hopper little dwarfs? Because I know those guys are the portal hoppers, the
It
little
could
dwarf looking.
be. It could be.
Wow, Kiefer,
Hmm.
huh? Kiefer's cookies. What are you gonna say, Darren?
So. You refer to these two as the good witch and the bad witch. Why? Uh. Is is the other grandmother just as spiritually
Sinister.
odd?
Just kidding.
Yeah. Like. what stories you have on your good your yeah, your
The
good
good,
grandmother?
I
What?
know she's good because she has a lot of I don't get no bad energy from her. I don't get no bad vibes. You know, kind of like that movie Sleepy Hollow.
Mm,
You know how like there's the good witch and the bad witch, and then she's like, "Oh, I have to
yeah, the
kill
twin.
my sister." Yeah, she had to
Yeah.
kill. Remember? So I felt like my
Uh.
grandma, that grandma is like that. She's a good. I want to say she's a witch. But the only reason why I say that is because she's she's like she she doesn't do nothing bad, you guys. Like she's always good. Like she's always trying to do stuff for people. She's always trying to help out. And she knows about her sister. She knows she's
Huh.
bad. She knows how old she is too. She really watches her words, what she says about her sister, though.
because she knows she's
Oh.
listening
Well, what
somewhere.
does she have? What does she say when she says something? Anything about her sister? Is it
She
like?
doesn't want to tell us how old she is because my mom asked her how old she is, and she's like, she would avoid the subject. She would move on
Hmm,
to a different subject. Anything to do with her sister, she's just like, oh, I know she's like that. She's like, I know. She's like, don't worry about her. She's like, she would just tell us, don't worry about her. She's a bad, she knows she's bad, you know. I know she's a bad, she's not all good, she's not all there. Or she says like she'll make excuses for her, but we all know she knows, you know. We like, I'm not.
hmm,
When you get older, you start realizing stuff and you start putting pieces together, and you're like, she's the good one though. She's nothing bad, but I know she knows stuff, you know. Like I don't
Mhm.
know,
hmm.
I don't know how to explain it. I just know, like
Mm.
Huh.
I just
Okay.
know.
Wow.
We got less than 8 minutes, so I'm gonna we're gonna be going down, starting to wind down on our show, and looks like we might have to plan for part three, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh
could
yeah,
do that.
heck yeah.
But with the
Oh
UFOs and stuff, that's crazy too because those ships are freaking big, you guys. From what I
yeah,
from what I've like,
Mm,
they even I remember even on the. Do you guys remember the like they used to do those Navajo Times. I don't know if they still do that. Navajo Times newspapers.
yeah.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
but they would put some of those on the Navajo Times too, where they take the picture and you can see UFOs. They even had one with I think Bigfoot. Oh shit, I think. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I
Yeah.
think they
I
had
seen
one
that
with
one.
Bigfoot too.
mm, yeah.
Huh.
Now,
You
now
ever?
I think everyone's covering up. What were you gonna
Yeah,
say,
they're
Darren?
trying to. They're trying to cover their tracks. Even the government's trying to do all that because they don't want people to be afraid. They don't want people knowing things out
Yeah,
there in the world. You know,
the
like
Navajo
literally.
Rangers as well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Mm,
I believe in mermaids. Like the only reason why I
yeah.
do is because the stuff that I've seen, fairies, Bigfoot, like little people. You know what I mean? Those are all things
Mm,
that happen in like Disney movies. I mean, besides Bigfoot, but you know, like those are things that happen in Disney movies, and you see, and I think about it now. I'm like, damn, those are all probably
Mm.
the things that actually are living, that live
yeah. Yeah.
today.
Yeah,
Uh.
in Mexico they have a lot of those stories where you have to really believe, and then those they call them the sirens, the mermans. They would really
Yeah,
come,
Mm,
yeah, and then they would eat them
yeah.
too as well. So a lot of weird,
Mm,
strange stories on that.
yeah.
yeah.
They
Even
say that. They even say that they make you drown. They try to drown you.
mm,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even my late grandmother, she told us stories of mermaids out there in Rainbow Lake. She's just a strict no English speaking
Oh, she
woman,
just
you know.
speaks Navajo.
And she brought up, she was telling us stories one night, and one story was mermaids. She brought up stories of mermaids, like how and why, like where is there that Navajo word for a mermaid, you know? But she would tell us stories like this of mermaids, and it's so odd that a Navajo lady would talk about water beings like this. So obviously, you know, it's hidden in plain sight, I guess, for with the Disney movies, and there's so much conspiracy behind it that you know, that's a whole subject on itself. It's Disney,
Even
but
little people. I never thought I would ever see little people, and I never believed
Mhm.
it until I seen it with my own eyes. You know, and I'm
oh
like,
oh
and it ran
yeah,
Mhm.
into
yeah.
me. a rock pile. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
just like
Yep.
it was just a hill. It was a hill full of like concrete and dirt. Like it was, and then it had a bunch of little holes, like almost like snake holes.
Hmm.
Mm.
Oh
But
wow.
it was smaller than snake holes though. It wasn't like snake. It was enough. It was big enough for whatever they can run through.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of elves. Like the not elves, Smurf.
Hmm.
You
Mm.
know how
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of that, but they're not blue. They're just like regular people. They just look regular.
Hmm. Wow. I think
Yeah.
we gotta buy like those Barbie houses and leave it out there, huh? See what they do to it.
I thought of it, but when you see things like that, you're kind of scared and you don't know what's gonna happen. You
Oh
don't know
yeah.
what's gonna take you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt
Yep.
like a couple times in my dreams, like I felt like I was like, there's a lot of things like how they say you can, instead of portals, they say that you can come out of your body and see other
Tell.
things.
Yeah.
Teleporting, is
Hmm.
that called? Is that what it's called?
What do we
Astro
call it?
astral
Astral plane.
projection.
Yes, I've had that
Yeah.
happen to me a bunch of times too, you
It's
guys.
all cool. I
Hmm.
like doing that. It's
I
scary
I
sometimes.
hate that, yeah, because I see myself sleeping, and you see and you don't know where you're floating to or where you're
Quick
going.
question. Have you seen the girl that looks like the grudge yet chase you? Because like when you're in that realm, every now and then you see something screaming. You look down and it's that girl with the hair. She's chasing you and she finds you. She tries to whenever you go into that realm, she
Mhm.
follows you everywhere you go, then until she follows your body. So that's what happened to me. So I had to take a pause on that
Oh,
astral plane traveling. It's
oh,
real.
So,
It's scary.
so she
no, I
basically
never
looked
knew
like
that. That's crazy. I
her
never. I mean,
grandmother, huh?
they can. It's like an opening portal. Then.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. She'll find your body, and crawl up on you. um,
Wow.
we have a few minutes left. Do you have anything you want to say, Vanessa, to our viewers and listeners out there?
Um, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Just listen out for more stories. I mean, I'm down to tell you guys more stories next time. If we can do another video. Um, just stay tuned. Like I'll tell you
Mm.
guys more.
Oh
Um,
heck yeah!
Mm.
yeah, it's just like I said, I'm just like barely getting my stories out there. I don't really like to I'm barely telling my stories to anybody, like you guys, and on my
Mm,
page, like I barely opening up to you guys, and
mm.
I've never done this because I was always told to keep all this to myself, and
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah. Yeah.
don't give them the power, you know what I mean? The
Mm.
whatever they are, but I'm like, I've always wanted to know if anybody else seen these things, that I've seen, like, and I
Hmm.
know I'm not the only person that sees these things. So
Yeah.
it's just crazy that other people out there have the same experience or had something similar
Hmm.
with
Oh
my
yeah.
story.
Yeah. Well, um, I'm gonna have to
Oh
kick you off here, everyone off here.
No, it's good.
yeah.
Our
It's good.
time's running out, but thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
No,
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
something new and it was really interesting talking about
Yep. All
the
right,
witch,
Darren.
the witches.
We're
All right.
cutting
all
it
right,
short
then. Talk
here.
to you guys
All
next time,
right.
then.
I'll see you
Bye.
All
guys.
right. Later.
Oh, sorry. See you. All right. See you, Darren. Good job. All right. Thank you for tuning into Don't Whistle at Night. We've been broadcasting live here on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans, Louisiana. You guys keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, and stay weird out there. Maybe you guys can come on. Have a great week.